Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your Fantasy Fulfilled, the Hardwood edition. I'm your host, Latasha Miles, aka Joan Wooden, the Baseline Beauty, and I'm here to break down each position and give you some fantasy basketball tips to make sure your NBA rosters are well-rounded and keep them full circle. All right, no doubt. So let's facilitate this episode and start off with the point guard position. J.J. Barea of the Dallas Mavericks. Barea has scored at least 18 points in each of his last trio of games, and he's averaging 17.8 points, 4.5 rebounds, 5.8 assists, half a steal, and 2.5 three-pointers. His productivity has also skyrocketed as he's appeared in 34 minutes of games in the last 4 games. And let's not overlook the fact that he's played at least 27 minutes per game with starting point guard Deron Williams in the lineup. He's an excellent source of points, threes, assists with a few rebounds here and there. Now, I know JJ stands for Jose Juan, but for fantasy basketball purposes, it stands for just jump on Barea and add him to your lineups. At the shooting guard position, scoop up Nick Young from the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, this might be old news to some of you, but Young is actually averaging 17 points, 3.2 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 3.2 three-pointers, and he is 54% in shooting over the last 5 games. He must have called Olivia Pope to handle some of his off-court scandals because he's constantly improving and has become a much more mature defender, and he's currently starting at the number 2 position for the new look Lakers under the direction of rookie head coach Luke Walton. Sorry, I had a Luke Kuechly moment there from attending some of the Panthers games, but nonetheless, back to NBA. And Young is a reliable option for owners searching for threes and points. Oh, and by the way, he's owned in only 53% of NBA fantasy leagues. So again, go scoop Nick Young. Making a shift to the small forward position, take a look at Wilson Chandler for the Denver Nuggets. Now, Wilson is posting averages of close to 15 points per game, 6.8 boards, and an assist, and an occasional block and steal. He also brings some international experience to his game and averages 28 minutes a game off the pine and has played over 30 minutes a game in 3 of his last 6 and 5 of the total 8 games he's played thus far this season. He's playing heavy minutes off the bench, and with the Nuggets being deep at that position with players such as Will Barton, Danilo Gallinari, Kenneth Faried, and Juancho Hernangomez, so that's a bonus for the former DePaul product. Oh, and Mr. Wilson Chandler is owned in 22% of fantasy leagues. Transitioning to the power forward position, you should strongly consider Trevor Booker from the Brooklyn Nets. Booker, the former Clemson Tiger, is on the court for an average of 26 minutes a night in the starting lineup for the Nets, and he's currently and consistently posting averages of 9.6 points per game, 8.3 rebounds, a pair of assists, a pair of steals, and just under 1 block per game. His specialty is defense, and although he's slightly undersized for the power forward position, he actually does some not so bad rim protecting. If you're a fantasy owner looking for a sold option such as boards and the hard to get steals and block goodies, then Booker is the guy that you should book. And another reason why you need to book him, he's available and he's owned in only 62% of fantasy basketball leagues. Closing out at the center position, make a hole for Lucas Nogueira of the Toronto Raptors. Other than foul trouble, Nogueira has played no less than 26 minutes in the last handful of games, and he seems to be kind of like Jay-Z, aka Hove, and created his own lane. Get it? Hove, H-O-V? Yeah, that part. You see what I did there. And he's in the Raptors rotation behind Jonas Valanciunas, taking over for the departed Bismack Biyombo. Lucas has averages of 8.6 points, including 10 points 3 out of his last 5 games, 8 rebounds, 2 steals a game, and 3 blocks a game, making him one of the better and most well-rounded player options to grab. The young player is a third-year egg, and he's finally starting to hatch, and you should crack open a spot for him on your roster, and he's owned in only 20% of fantasy basketball leagues. All right, no doubt. So that's going to do it for this installment of your Fantasy Fulfill, the Hardwood edition, right here on ESPN, the network. Thanks so much for tuning in, and please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is ESPN, the network, and you'll also be able to catch some fantasy football episodes in addition to our The Jock and Jill Show podcast and other projects and ventures that have been worked on. And please make sure that you go out and get your copies of my book, When Football Season Turns You Into His Side Chick, The Ultimate Survival Guide for Relationships and Households During Football Season. And it's available right now on Amazon.com and CreateSpace.com. I'm your girl, Latasha Miles, a.k.a. Joan Wooden, the Baseline Beauty. So just chill to the next episode. Thanks again so much for tuning in, and I'm out. What's going on, good people? It's your girl again, Latasha Miles, a.k.a. Joan Madden, the Gridiron Goddess. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at she_SPN and at Facebook at Latasha Joan Madden Miles. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is ESPN, the network. Hey, I'm kind of a big deal. You know, I'm a little bit cute, got some beauty, got some brains. That way on that channel, you'll be able to see the interviews that I've done, some of the famous people that I worked with, the projects I worked on, things of that nature. And don't forget to log on to CreateSpace.com and Amazon.com and get your copies of my book, When Football Season Turns You Into His Side Chick, The Ultimate Survival Guide for Relationships and Households During Football Season. I appreciate your support. And hey, I gotta run. They're over here calling me on the other line. I gotta manage another fantasy football league. I'm out.
Gon' kick it off there, whoa. Gon' kick it off there, whoa. Hold up, we living big dreams now. As it seems now, we doing big things now. You on a small scale, we do it nationally. With an all-girl squad, now that's a fantasy league.